Hey crafters, this is Mai. Today what we are going to do is we are going to assemble our XOXO candy dome holder. I'm going to be using my art glitter glue for all of my gluing. I also have my hot glue gun off camera that I'm going to be using to glue down my dome. Now this is an 80 millimeter dome or a 3.145-inch dome, okay? And I also have my candies here that I'm going to be adding into my dome here. So as you can see, I have all three of my layers here. I have them cut out and I have them stacked in order for gluing. I also have these other pieces here, which are going to be for my opening mechanism. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm just going to start by adding glue here to the back of this white layer, which is my second layer that will go in between my red and pink back layer. Now this is a fun one that if you wanted to, you could go ahead and add some pattern cardstock to like this pink back layer or even to this white one, because it will show through on through the red layer here. So I've just added some glue here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it here between my fingers, and I am going to just hold this one here between my fingers as well, and I'm going to use my fingers as a guide to line everything up in that right position here. And then all I'm going to do is just press everything down gently. And I also want to say too, that if you want, you could also use heavier cardstock here for this pink back layer. That would work really well as well. Okay, and so now for this top layer, I'm just checking orientation before I start gluing. It's a good habit to have when working with cardstock, just checking the orientation before you go to layer things down on top of each other. Oop. And so these parts of the arrow here, they're really tiny. Hopefully you didn't lose them with your mat there. And okay, so as you can see, again, I'm still just adding the glue here right around all of these spots. And I'm also getting right around this rim here where the dome is going to go. You do want to make sure that this part is glued down just to make sure that it doesn't come up accidentally at all there. Okay, and then same thing like I did with the white layer. I'm going to hold everything here just between my fingers to help me line everything up and just get everything down in that right position. And that looks great. And then same thing here with just the arrow points right there and just pressing those down. Okay, so now let's do the mechanism here. So there are 5 pieces to the mechanism. You can see them all laid out right here. These 2 pieces right here are the ones that are going to go together. And so again, just check orientation, make sure that it looks good. And then we're going to add glue right here to the back of this piece. And then we're going to press it down and glue it together right there, like that. Now we've got these 2 tabs that are hanging off. All we're going to do is add a little bit of glue right here and right here. Then we're going to fold this tab right on top right there. And the same thing for the opposite side right there. And that looks great. Then we're going to put this down. Now we have these 2 pieces here. These are absolutely identical. And all we're going to do is just glue these down together. So I'm adding the glue here to this. Then I'm going to glue it right here. And now what we're ready to do is we're going to grab this piece. And you see these 2 tabs here, we want these to line up with the 2 tabs that we folded here. It's going to go together like this, and it's going to be a sandwich, okay? This piece is going to be our slider, and let me just press this down because it's kind of sticking up there. And so what we're going to do is make sure that this big rectangle piece of this centerpiece here is covering this one right there on top. Then we're going to take this one, and we're going to place it down right there like this, okay? Now, before we go ahead and we do that, I'm going to hold this here and I'm going to add a dab of glue right here and right here. And then I'm also going to go through and just fold this again, one right on top of itself. Press and hold it to give it a chance to dry. Same thing here for the other side, right there on top of itself, okay? So we've got these 2 tabs now folded down, and then we're going to create a sandwich like this. Okay, so you can see that right there. Now, again, I'm going to lift this one off for just one more moment. And now I'm going to add glue on top of this tab. So again, I do this just for orientation, making sure that I've got everything lined up. And I'm going to press it down right here. And I'm going to make sure that these two are sealing together. And so what that's happening now, what's happening is now they're going to seal in the centerpiece here for me. So what's going to happen is when I pull on this, it's going to open, but it's not going to go all the way out because this centerpiece is hitting those tabs right there on the inside. And so it's creating like a barrier to keep it from sliding all the way out. Now I'm going to lift this one back so it lines up right there at the edge. And I'm going to hold this now tight in my hands. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go now and add just a little bead of glue right along here. You want to make sure that that centerpiece is really on the inside there and that it's not sticking over. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this now on top of itself. Now, when you go to fold this, you don't want to fold it so it's super, super tight. Because if it's super tight, what will happen then is this piece, when you go to slide it, it's going to be really, really stiff and hard. So you want to kind of give it a little wiggle room, meaning in the sense that you can use your fingernail and just kind of bend it a little bit away from the paper and then fold it. Okay. So you can almost see like right here, there's a little bit of like a bubble. It's not flush. This folded piece is not flush against the edge because like I said, you don't want it to be super, super tight. Otherwise it'll be really rigid when you go to pull it out. All right. So the same thing here on this side, adding a little bead of glue. I'm going to just fold it there like that with my finger. So not too much glue either, because then you're going to end up with some of it just seeping through. And press and hold these so that way they have a chance to really bond and to dry there. Okay. And so again, that piece there. And now for this last side, we're going to do the same thing, a little bead of glue, and then just kind of press it, fold it. Fold it, hold it, press it, fold it, hold it. Oh, a little mantra there for us. Okay, so we're almost there. I just wiped the glue with my finger, so let me add just a little bit more. So press it, fold it, hold it. You can hear the phone going off in the background there. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here for this side, and we are just going to press that there. And I think I'm going to have to go grab that phone. Okay, so now we have it here. I had to go grab that phone there. And so you can see that when we go to pull on the slider, you can see that it will slide through and it's not too hard. And then we can push it back and open it and close it there. All right. Now, something else that I like to do is I kind of like to bend this one, but I usually do that once I glue it down. So I'm going to flip this piece over. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it so that way the opening here lines up with the opening here on this side. And so you can see how it's going to fit right along there. And now I'm going to add my glue along the edges here to glue it down. Okay. All right, so I'm just adding the glue there, and I'm going to go ahead and just press it down right over the opening. And as I do that, I'm going to flip it over so I can take a look. This one's a little bit off there. You can see some of that glue. Let me see if I can move it down just a hair, and I think I can't. So that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe this part of the glue there. It's going to show, but it'll be all right. And so now, when I was talking about that bend there, is you could just bend it just a little bit, and that kind of makes it like a leverage or a lever, so you can open and close it just a little bit easier. Okay. All right, so now we can flip this back over. We're ready to add our dome on. And so when you line up your dome, you kind of want to decide where you want this tab of the dome to go. I'm going to put mine kind of like right here. If you see, like, you've got this part of the design of the O's, so it might show up there, but it would be okay. You definitely want to make sure that it's not kind of hanging off on this part here where there's no design, okay? So I'm going to put mine like right about here, and I'm going to use my hot glue to just go ahead and add some glue right here around the edge of the dome. Now, when you're adding the glue, you could add it directly to the design if you wanted. That's always an option. But I'm adding mine right here. You don't want to add too much glue. So I'm just adding a little bead all the way around. You want to add quickly before the glue dries and cools because then it won't be as sticky. And then just line it up and place it down. And then just put your hand over it and give it a chance to bond there and just dry. All right. And once you have it, then you'll be good to go. And then you can flip everything over, open it up, and then you can add in your candies. I don't know how much is going to fit, but you do also want to make sure that whatever candies you're adding, that they're kind of individually wrapped, because like you saw, there was a little bit extra glue that was seeping through there, and you can see that there's some glue on the other side, on the inside part of it. So you just want to make sure that you're, you know, kind of covering that up there. And I'm just going to throw this one in too, because there's room. And that's it. And so you've just created a fun little candy dome for Valentine's Day. It's cute. The kiddos are sure to love it. The adults are sure to love it. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and happy crafting.